750 watt motor in that rear wheel, and that is powered by a 48 volt, 12.8 amp hour lithium battery that can be removed with the 2 keys they give you. Can be charged out of the bike or in the bike, which takes 5 to 6 hours. In the settings, you can change the pedal assist levels from 3, 5 to 9. You can also limit the power output from 0 to 100. Also has a half twist throttle on the right side. I'm going to show you how fast it can go on all 5 of the pedal assist levels and straight throttle. I've got a full battery on speed mode 1, 10 miles per hour, 2 is 11, 3 is 14, 4 is 16, and 5 is 18. The throttle is also 18. Now this bike does have some weight to it, 66 pounds, but can carry a rider up to 300 pounds. I'm 185 pounds and want to see how long it's going to take to top the bike out. This is the acceleration test. Now in the settings, you can change from a 0 to non-zero start. I'm going to show you what that looks like. And then you can also change the pedal assist sensitivity from 0 to 5 as well. Okay, this is the 0 start versus non-zero start. Full battery, pedal assist level 5, here we go. And about a half revolution, it comes on. That's on gear 2. Now I'm gonna set it to 1 and see if there's a difference. That's still half a revolution. So 0 to non-zero start option, there's no difference. Now this is pedal assist sensitivity, P12, and there's 0 to 5, so this is 0 first. Let's see if there's a difference here. So there's about 3/4 of a revolution. Power kicks on. It's kind of a decent acceleration. And now pedal assist sensitivity set to 5. Here we go. It comes on at the same time. All right, that is a little bit more abrupt, get more power. It's very, very little difference though. Really can't even tell, to be honest. Okay, so now that I know that there's not really a big difference between the sensitivity settings, this is the full test, 0 to 20, pedal assist level 5, full battery. Here we go. Again, comes on about half to 3/4 of a revolution. And it's actually pretty powerful. Oh, and it hits like 17 and just flats out. That's where it dies. So 18, there it is. And now this is straight throttle. Ooh, that is immediate. About the same acceleration as pedal assist. Pretty good for price range of the bike. And there's 18. So both of those top the bike out in about half a block. The NXB has a range rating of 20 up to 68 miles. For this first range test, got a flat trail with some easy riding, not a lot of stops. Let's see how far I can go. The NXB comes 95% assembled. All you have to do is add the handlebars and the saddle. And this is foldable. The handlebars fold down, the frame folds in half, the pedals fold. So balance is actually pretty good. For a cheaper end bike, I can ride that pretty easy without any hands. Now I have taken this over 35 miles per hour coming down the canyon, and it actually handled that speed better than I thought it was going to. About 34, 35, the bike does start to shake a little bit. Not like terribly bad, but just enough to make me nervous. Okay, says 76% battery life. I've gone 7.28 miles and stopped probably about a couple dozen times. Well, let me dive into the geometry of the bike. It has a rider size rating of 5'1" to 6'5", and that makes sense because a lot of things are adjustable on this. You can rise the handlebars up about 8-9 inches. The seat obviously adjusts like any other bike. And so when everything is lower to the lowest position, I think if you were 5'1", you would feel like you could manage something like this. As I mentioned before, the riding style is a little bit different with these foldable bikes. It's not really an aggressive stance. You're more upright than kind of hunched over the handlebars. And so these are the types of bikes where you just sit back, relax, enjoy the scenery. I call them scenery bikes because it just gives you that posture where you can see what's going on around you. Down to 50%, and I've gone 12.63 miles. Diving into the cockpit, you got 23-inch span on the handlebars. The grips are wing-tipped, hard plastic, but they don't move, and they're not that comfortable. Got a 7-speed Shimano shifter. Going up is 1 at a time. Coming down, I can go from 7 to 1. The saddle's about average for comfort, but there's a seat post suspension, and that's actually worked out pretty well. I can feel, I got about 2 or 3 inches of travel on that. You got 20 by 4-inch all-terrain tires, and they're kind of a standard tire. I see that design quite a lot. Then you got a front fork spring suspension, and that's okay. Down to around 25% battery life, and I've gone 19.48 miles. Let me walk you through the pedal assist and throttle sensitivity. On speed mode 1, I'm 60 RPM. Speed mode 2 is pretty much the same resistance as speed mode 1. in the cranks. There's a big jump in 3 and pretty close to my cadence now. Speed mode 4 is where the bike takes over. My regular cadence of 70 RPM. Then on speed 5, if I really try to crank, I can get 18, 19. That's about as fast as I'm able to go. There's 20, 21. I think this is actually a little downhill section in the trail. Whew, that is a workout though to hit around 20. With the throttle, it's about an inch before it engages. There is some play there. Very easy to maintain a certain speed. I do like that. It's not like an all or nothing sort of deal. Going 13 miles an hour if I punch it. Got immediate power. Pretty slow to ramp up though. And that's what I expect for a bike in this price range. If I'm topping the bike out, release it automatically or instantly cuts off. That wraps up the range test. My app recorded 20.74 miles with just about 350 feet elevation gain. The bike did die on me about 1.5 miles down the trail, so I did have to pedal back. And just a heads up, once it hits about 25%, it dies. There's really no drop in power either. It was still hitting, 18 miles per hour up until it died, which I was pretty impressed with. So for the price range, 20 miles is pretty awesome. Now for range test 2, I've got a lot more elevation, gonna have a lot more stop and go as well, just riding the bike overall harder. Let's see how far I can go this time. Well, don't judge a bike by its price. That is the lesson I learned today. The second range test is over. The app recorded 13.90 miles with 2,908 feet of elevation gain, which that has my respect. That's a lot of climbing. Now it did overheat on me coming up the mountain, so there is that. I let it cool off for like 2 minutes and then continued on and it was just fine. But yeah, I mean 14 miles, almost 3,000 feet elevation gain for a $1,000 bike. That's pretty cool. There's no hill rating for the NXB, but the motor does produce 62 Newton meters of torque. Okay, I got 58% battery life. I'm gonna be on speed mode 5 and starting to climb right away. This is a 14% grade hill, about doing a 2-block long section. I'm in the 7th gear, going 8 miles an hour, and bike's doing about 90% of the work. I'm giving a little help, and the cranks, well, now it's starting to get steep. I gotta lower down the gears. Down to gear 2. That's much more manageable. It's got better climbing power than I thought it was gonna have. It's still doing 90% of the work. Bouncing back between 6 and 7 miles per hour. I definitely feel I need to help it though. Like that 10-50% that I'm putting in is getting me to the top. I think it could do it on its own, but it'd be going a lot slower. And up over the top. Hey, you got dual disc brakes. Gonna test how well they work coming down the same hill I just went up for the hill test. Okay, let's start the descent. 40% grade, lightly braking. Got that squeaking, not the best. No pulse, a little bit of pulsating. Get some more speed and hard brake. Here we go. Ooh. Stop, 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 stop. Now the tires didn't slide, but that took a long time to stop. Brakes could definitely be stronger. I mean, this is a very steep hill and I was going over 20 miles per hour, but still, got to have a lot of pressure on each lever for hard braking. I've already adjusted them too, and they still give quite a bit, so must have not done the best job at that. But anyway, gives you kind of some idea how that brakes. I'm gonna run through the pad and the screen here. So there's an M button, hold it for a couple seconds, screen turns on. It is sunny out and I can easily see that, and that is set to the highest brightness level. Up and down arrows to change the pedal assist level. Hold the up button to turn on the lights. Actually got a pretty decent feeling, looking light in the front here. Kind of hard to tell, but it is lit up. There's a nice tail light attached to the rack. Hold the bottom arrow for the walk assist mode, and that will keep going unless you hit the brake. So you don't have to hold that button down. If you press the M button, that does switch through some different readouts at the very bottom here. Hold and press the up and down arrows to access the P menu, and then the M button to switch through different P modes. And the ones you're gonna be most interested about is P1 is the screen brightness, P2 is the units, P4 is the timeouts. You can set how long you want the bike to be on until it turns off automatically. P6 is the tire size. You do have to set them to the right tire size, just an FYI. P10 are the modes. You can set it to either pedal assist only, throttle only, or a combination of both. And on P14, you can reset the odometer.